What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to TTB Ravens Media, bringing Ravens content every single day. If you want to stay daily Ravens content, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below and hit the notification bell as well if you want to get notified every single time I upload a brand new video, because it is the NFL draft, and every single time the Ravens draft a player, coming out with my instant reaction to those picks. And we already released, those instant reactions for the picks on day one, but this is going to be a day one draft analysis talking about Kyle Hamilton, the Marquise Hollywood-Brown trade, and Tyler Linderbaum. I have a couple of other videos that will be coming out before day two starts today. I'll be talking about wide receivers to target in the draft today. I will also be talking, potentially about, just the best overall players for the Ravens to target outside of wide receivers. Let me know what you guys want to hear about, but I will be coming out with a lot of videos before the draft. Continues today, but then I will also be coming out with those draft, instant reactions and then a day two analysis. But let's start talking about it. I still can't believe that Kyle Hamilton is a Baltimore Raven. I graded him as my number 2 prospect in this draft. Now I did say in that video I felt like he would fall. Same with Tyler Linderbaum, because their positions are not as sought after as other positions such as quarterback, edge, offensive tackle, and things of that nature. But Kyle Hamilton is the real deal. Yeah, he has the size of a linebacker. However, I don't think he'd be a great fit at linebacker, because linebacker reduces his ability to play in space. That's where he excels. His reactions, his instincts around the football are absolutely incredible. The best safety debut in recent memory, or at least yearly debut in recent memory, was Derwin James out of Florida State. Goes into I believe it was then the San Diego Chargers, and he was phenomenal. He established himself as one of the best safeties in the NFL, if not the best, in year one. That is something Kyle Hamilton has a chance to try and replicate. He is going to come in with great physicality, ball instincts, football IQ, and hands. Now that sounds like a pretty solid player for me. Now, was safety the biggest need for the Ravens in this draft? No, it was not. Looking at it, the biggest needs were probably corner. The biggest needs was maybe edge rusher. Those were the big spots that I felt like a lot of people were looking for. Now, the cornerbacks, unfortunately, they went in the top 2. Or the top 2 cornerbacks went in the top 4 picks with Sauce and Stingley. So that kind of went out the table. They could have gone McDuffie. They could have gone with Booth or Kyer Elam, but they didn't. Edge rusher. There was an edge rusher available. Mr. Jermaine Johnson and George Karlaftis were available. The Ravens, however, I felt like they made the right decision going with Kyle Hamilton, because, that is a best player available type of move. And it still fills a need. Yes, we do have Chuck Clark at that strong safety position. I believe the assumption is now that Brandon Stevens will be switching over to a slot cornerback. We also have our Darius Washington, who can play in the slot, but Mike McDonald loves to use 3 safeties in his defense. We now have 3 safeties, and Chuck Clark, who actually is a really solid box safety, he can be in the box, and we can have Kyle Hamilton and Marcus Williams playing over top with Marlon and Marcus Peters on the outside. That is a dream come true. That is, I think, already the best secondary in the NFL. The Ravens already had, I think, the best secondary in the NFL, but now it is like far and away the best. I felt like that was a home run, grand slam, out of the park type of draft pick by Eric DeCosta. That was as perfect as it can get. That was dream scenario. If the Ravens don't trade up, that was a dream scenario for the possible scenarios. I did not think there was a chance, Thibodeau fell to 14. I didn't think there was a chance Kyle Hamilton fell to 14. But, as always, guys, let me know what your thoughts are on all of these picks. But now let's talk about the second thing that happened. Joshua and I actually had our reaction to the Marquise Hollywood-Brown trade while we were finishing up the Kyle Hamilton instant reaction video. So if you want to see our reaction to that Hollywood trade, it's at the very end of that video. That was surprising. But I was very happy about it. And I'm not a Hollywood Brown hater. You guys know me. I'm a big fan of Hollywood Brown. I felt like he was overly disrespected. However, it has come out that he requested a trade at the end of the last season. The Ravens had talked to Lamar Jackson, Eric DeCosta, John Harbaugh. They had talked to him. And they felt like it was okay to do. So they ended up trading Hollywood Brown and a 3rd round pick, which they had 2 third round picks, for pick number 23 in the draft. Now, what did they do with that pick 23? They ended up trading it back, getting another 4th round pick. Now they have 6 fourths for pick 25. I think that was a great move. I said it, I'm a big fan of Hollywood. However, I had tweeted out plenty of trades of trading Hollywood to trade up in the draft because I felt like, one, he's going to want a lot of money, and I don't feel like it's going to be worth paying Hollywood Brown, the ludicrous amount of money that he is going to request. I think he's going to want near $20 million, which I don't think is worth it to pay him. I think he's a great player. If we could have kept him, I would have been, ecstatic. However, it seemed like he didn't want to be here, and the Ravens felt, hey, let's get the best player possible. So they end up getting a 1st round pick. And you look at what their trade basically constituted as after the second trade that they made. They traded Hollywood Brown and a 3rd round pick for a 1st round pick and a 4th round pick for pick 25. And pick 25 ended up becoming Tyler Linderbaum. I'll talk about that in a second. But, yes, the Hollywood Brown trade did bring us pick 20, 23 or 25, however you want to look at it. The biggest thing now is the need at wide receiver. Now, I'll be talking about that later today, talking about, the best wide receivers to draft. Also, I will bring this up. There is potential now that I saw. When I saw that trade, I was like, there's a chance the Baltimore Ravens target one of the most underrated wide receivers in the NFL, a future Hall of Famer, Odell Beckham Jr., because he's expressed his willingness to play with Lamar Jackson. And now we actually have space for him to get on the field. Or, we could draft guys. Julio Jones also available. There's plenty of guys. But that Hollywood trade opens up a lot of opportunities for the Ravens to attack this second half of the draft. Now let's get into the pick that some people are in love with. Some people are, very against it. Tyler Linderbaum. All right, I talked about it before. I did not want Tyler Linderbaum at 14. But I also said if the Ravens ended up getting 2 first-round picks, I'm okay with drafting Tyler Linderbaum because we would still be able to get that instant impact type of player, on the, defense or, that the Ravens I felt like needed. Tyler Linderbaum also is an instant impact player. It's not sexy. It's not beautiful. It's not the pick that we are all going to be popping champagne over, on that draft night. That was Kyle Hamilton, right? That's the type of pick that was. Tyler Linderbaum, however, was the best offensive lineman in this draft. Yes, best offensive lineman in this draft. The issue is he plays center. It's not as valuable as the offensive tackle position, which is why guys like Ikeme and, the tackle, I don't know why I'm blanking on the tackle out of Alabama. That's why they went first. Because they play the position of, beauty on the offensive line. It's not like this, it's not the prettiest of positions. But, they play tackle. It's more valuable than center. However, at pick 25, I feel like that's a valuable pick. Pick 14, it makes no sense to take a center. Centers are very rarely taken in the top 15. I think it's like maybe one in the last 25 years has been taken in the top 15. Now, first round centers, it does happen. It's not super common, but it does happen. But we got to see what happened with Creed Humphrey last year as he went in the, second round to the Kansas City Chiefs as, he was an incredible center prospect. Well, he came in, he was the best center in the NFL last year. He really helped that Chiefs offensive line. Tyler Linderbaum has a chance to do the exact same thing with the Baltimore Ravens. He's coming into an offensive line playing next to Kevin Zeitler, who was an incredible player last year. Morgan Moses at the right tackle spot, who is a very solid offensive tackle. Ronnie Stanley, a former All-Pro, Pro Bowler, one of the best left tackles in the NFL if he's able to come back, and play to the level that we hope he can. Then, at the left guard spot, still a bit of a question mark. Maybe it's Ben Cleveland, maybe it's Ben Powers. But it can be a much, much better offensive line than it was last year. I think this offensive line could maybe be the best offensive line in the NFL with the addition of Mr. Tyler Linderbaum, because that also means that maybe Patrick McCarry shifts over to the left guard spot, or, Tyree Phillips. There's so many opportunities for the Ravens, at that spot. So we'll see what they end up doing, but this could be a great offensive line, which is just what the Ravens need to be able to run that football, to be able to, get those deep passing plays set up, all of those things. I think it's a really solid pick. Now, in that moment, I wanted Jermaine Johnson. I don't know if Jermaine Johnson would have been the better pick. It would have been the more, exciting pick. It would have been the more noticeable pick, because it's difficult to be like, you're not going to be watching the game and be like, great play by that center. That's why we picked him. Center is a position where not noticing them is the benefit. Whereas, Jermaine Johnson is so much easier to say, sack, let's go. He got that strip sack, we win the game, right? We saw Odafe Owe last year on Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Strip fumble, recovery, Ravens win. That's noticeable. Making a good snap and having good blocks is not going to be on the highlight tape, so it's harder to judge. However, it's probably the better pick. It's not as fun, but I think this first round was about as good as it could possibly go. The Ravens gave up Hollywood in the third. They got back 2 first-round picks that are both going to be instant starters, instant impact. 2 of maybe the best players at their position already in the NFL, if they are able to play to their potential. This was a great first round. Eric DeCosta did a phenomenal job. I can't wait to see what he does today. I'm going to put out more videos today. Guys, let me know what you guys thought about the first round of this NFL draft. I woke up and I was like, I still can't believe Kyle Hamilton's a Baltimore Raven. I thought he should have been a top 5 pick. I thought there was a chance that the Houston Texans take him at number 3. I thought there was a chance the Lions take him at number 2 if Aiden Hutchinson was gone. Unbelievable pick. Let me know what you guys are thinking. Hit the subscribe button down below. Turn the notification bell on for when you're notified every single time I upload a brand new video, because this weekend is absolutely jam-packed with videos. And I'll see all of you again.